Well, it's only 6:59
6:59,
according to mine.
you've got a minute.
Like, oh my goodness, I was doing all these things.
I know, you get up early and think
I
about
was
it.
solving this morning, doing all this other stuff. Okay. All right, well, I guess we'll call the meeting to order. Special board meeting, October 16th. We'll call it to order, and we'll start with number 1. Call for bids, bus overhaul. Zane, you wanna open the envelopes?
So this is can't tell if this is an overhaul.
You might
Yeah,
wanna.
I'll James look at it.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of looks like an invoice, but I don't know if they're just listing out everything that they, everything like, you know.
Just
what-
being transparent in the bid.
Yeah, maybe. I've never
Yeah,
seen it.
repair and replace engine, video,
Who's it from?
Jerry, repair.
There it is. Here's the color.
Oh, that's right.
In column?
GM engine.
Well, it's ought to come up. I think he
Yeah,
helps
but
them.
it's-
I think he helps them.
Yeah, it'd be $10,440 total for labor. Says a GM, must be genuine GM engine.
What did you say the total was? What did you say the total was?
10,440.
This one I think is from Drive Chevrolet.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's two different ones here. The first one is Napa reman, the 6.0. And that's, starts at 4,200. So the first one with the Napa would be 8,140. And then with the genuine GM engine, it's 10,440. That's, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Drive Chevrolet sent Mike a quote. It says, "This is Brad with Drive Chevrolet. I was looking at the last quote number I gave you and realized that I added in the engine core change of $2,500 into the figure. I have remade the quote as requested. This quote is for a brand new 6.0 engine with new hoses and belts. The quote will increase if you wish to add new spark plugs, ignition coils and wires, water pump, or any other part. So with this quote from Drive Chevrolet here, it says the parts would be about $6,823.15. Labor is $2,968, and the total number is $9,791.15.
This one says, yeah, new water pump, upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose, spark plugs, wires.
So it includes the spark plugs.
It does say at the bottom here, it says after shop supplies and any unforeseen issues that may arise, $10,000 would be very close to the final bill. She said they can have all the parts available, round it up in just a few days. It does say freight might be applied. It just says, as all quotes go, price of subject to change, freight may apply, but on here, the total number is just under 10,000.
Okay,
I don't know anything about a Napa reman. Could be fine, but I guess it is, the reman, I don't know if that genuine GM is a brand new motor, or it's a reman.
On the Jerry's.
Oh, it says not reman, not reman. That's
That's
Drive Chevrolet.
really,
I have remade this request. This quote is for a brand new 6.0 engine, not reman, with new hoses and belts. That's for the 9,000.
so on the other one, it just says GM engine, doesn't it?
Napa reman 6.0.
Oh,
the other one.
Oh, yeah. GM engine, yeah, it doesn't say anything else except for GM engine. And it says parts, and then, it lists all of them, and it doesn't say anything else.
You would think that would be new, because if he has the Napa reman on the other side, but.
You can always do a request for information just to clarify.
But it is more, I mean, almost 10,000 for it.
You can just give the directive to request information, and if it is what you think it is, then he can do what you say, and if it's not, then you give him an alternative directive.
Am I hearing we wanna go with the newer one, not the,
Not to remand.
not the reman, the $2,000 more, we wanna go with the new engine, is that what I'm hearing, or?
Well, this one would be about, but the drive would be 1,600.
How old is this bus?
It's a 2006. I don't know if you guys, we bought that North Border bus, and now North Border is realizing that they need a bus, so they sent out a call to all, schools asking where they could find a 14-passenger bus, so they're back in the boat trying to spend $110,000 on a 14-passenger. So when you start looking at this being a 14-passenger bus for, $10,000, it's probably a pretty good deal.
Yeah, they're probably both, I mean, Jerry's is 10,440, and this one sounds like it'll probably be getting
Close to 10?
close to 10, because the 9,700, the 9115 was without spark plugs and all that, so I would think they're gonna be pretty close then.
I'd say it'd be over 10.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say too, I would say that they're pretty,
'Cause you're only.
they're almost a horse piece to me.
Right, cause you're looking at only
Almost a horse piece, so.
$200, so. Mhm.
It just says after shop supplies and any unforeseen issues,
Mhm.
10,000 would be very close.
Right. Mhm.
Without spark plugs and stuff,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Spark plug's gotta be added in.
Mhm.
No spark plugs included, no ignition coils and wires, water pump, or any other part to be swapped over.
But I think it'll
That's
be
not
pretty close to
included.
the 10,440 like Jerry's, so I
it'd
would,
be
yeah.
over, it'd be over.
yeah.
Is anybody brave enough to make a motion? It's a tough call. you know.
I think it should be a new, I really do, I mean, the bus is out there driving and kids. and-
Right, I agree with that too. So I think it has to be one of the two higher bids.
Mhm.
I don't think we should go with the 8,100, I think we should take the extra 2,000 to make sure we have a new bus.
Mhm.
I think that's worth the investment. Everybody agree?
Especially when the replacement's $110,000.
Okay,
And
so,
so, you know, labor, if it goes to heck, you know, get a do it again, labor is so expensive nowadays.
Mhm. Right.
No, they're new.
okay,
I'd love to go with Jerry's with the GM.
okay, I'll have a second to that, please.
I'll second it.
Okay, properly moved and seconded to go to Jersey to the GM, and then we'll talk, we'll have discussion. Discussion?
That's what I was gonna lean.
Have you had Jerry's work?
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Right.
And he's
Yeah, and I
done
think
this
it's
for
one of the- I
so
think
many
that-
years in Fargo, and
And he's probably gonna give us your optimals, he's probably gonna make sure, so.
Yeah, I agree.
he moved back to Harvey just a couple years ago to live with his mother. He's just across the alley.
And they have the shop right outside of town here on Cullen Hopkins Farm, so, and Cullen is,
Right.
I think he helps them, and I think he's a pretty good source too, so.
Yeah.
Okay, any more discussion? Any more discussion? So the motion on the floor is to accept the bid for the, bus engine from Jerry's. All in favor, please say aye. All
Aye.
opposed? Okay, the motion unanimously carries. Spencer, or is he online?
He voted aye.
Yeah, he voted
Okay, you voted aye? Okay, all right. I did not
Do
hear that.
we,
Thank you.
do we need to double check, make sure it's, I mean, is that contingent upon?
Yeah, we should make sure it's a new engine, not just a remand.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll do that before you, whoever calls,
They'll call.
okay, you call, accept the bid, and make sure that it's, you understand the question? Okay,
Make sure it's a brand new engine, and then you can tell that he was awarded the bid.
yeah, okay,
Because if not, we'll have to come back.
all right. Any more? Okay, we'll move on then. Okay, so the parent bus route then, Dr. Lukens?
Yeah, we just have, I was waiting for, we had 5 families that we did parent bus routes, I have 2 that have not gotten the paperwork back in yet. But we do have these 3, they turned in their registrations and whatnot, just for the information of the board. This will just go on your transportation report in June. I register their car as a bus for us, and then every time they have to drive. See, we've gone to 4 routes now, so that the parent routes won't apply. Well, we're on 4 routes, but we don't have 4 routes all year, because, Mr. Arnold, who's driving the 4th route, can't do it all year, because he's gotta run his business. So, these then will be then paid out again in the spring when we have to go back to 3 routes. So, I would just ask there be a motion to accept these 3 that have turned in their paperwork, and we'll, issue checks accordingly for the families that have had to drive bus route.
I accept the 3 that we have and offer to.
Okay, is
Pay
there
them.
a second?
Second.
If I move second, then we accept those 3 routes and we'll have discussion. So when does does he start the 4th bus route?
I guess they started yesterday, I got a call from Brad, so, yep,
So we have happy parents then, we have 4 buses running?
I hope so.
Probably also have 3 other happy bus drivers too.
Yeah, because their routes are great. I think it's a good deal all around. It also saves on our equipment too, the miles and so.
Right.
Okay, and so, one more point of question, and when, like, you said he won't drive all year, or is there a certain time he's gonna stop?
Well, I mean, he runs a well business, and so he digs wells, so you can't really dig wells in the winter. So, I know last year he let us know about the 3rd week of April, it was
Yeah.
not a good
I was gonna say, you're
So
probably
that
gonna be
gets us-
almost into May if he's out. So, okay,
Which is good.
any more discussion? Any more discussion or questions? Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor then of accepting those 3, for parent bus routes, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, let's talk about the CTE observation, Dr. Lukens?
Yeah, last Wednesday there was a meeting, I was invited by Wade Sick to just observe what a rural CTE center would look like and some practices within the CTE center. What that would look like, so they're planning a trip, they're paying all the expenses, they're paying the per diem, they're paying the ticket, they're paying everything. And so, there's just some innovative practices out there in CTE that they wanna apply. If you are aware, the funding formula changed for CTE, to where centers are paid more. If your kids are taking classes from centers, you are paid more than if you just, offer it within your general curriculum. So there's gaps within that formula, and so we're just the state's trying to educate themselves on what it needs to look like to have rural CTE centers, because we can't function the way a Minot or a Bismarck or there's 10 of them in the state right now. And they are all, admittedly, they're under 60, they're all mostly urban. So they have to change their instructional model if they're gonna move into these gaps that they have. So that's what we're going to look at, and I hope to take a lot of notes.
Where do you go?
It's Brookfield's, Elmbrook Schools in Brookfield, Wisconsin.
And this is just observation, right? I mean,
Yep.
there's nothing committed or whatever, just going to look and get some ideas.
Yep, it is. I mean, they want to build rural schools, rural CTE centers. We're privileged to be included in the discussion.
So is this something that's kind of being kind of a state of North Dakota initiative?
Yes, they've changed the funding formula, they've changed the way schools are funded. I mean, we talked a lot about that on the building committee. And they have capped out a lot of their, capacity with those urban CTE centers. And they're not getting a huge amount of participation from rural schools. So they have to change their instructional models. So they're working on how to do that.
Who changed the funding? That's the state?
It's always been that way.
I think,
It's always been. a little
Mrs.
bit-
Free
I always
presents-
remember when I was teaching, I thought, God, that's not fair. It's always been a little bit more for the, it's always been that way, as far as I know.
I think it went even bigger though, because
Yeah.
they presented it, they presented it to the FFA
They always had
alumni.
an advantage. They always did, and I always, so.
And then it went bigger though, because I think last November that Jody presented to the FFA alumni, that it was even, the gap disparity got much bigger, where
So
if you have a
that's-
center.
That's the state CTE or the
Right.
state legislature?
Oh, I was thinking that the state CTE is governed by the legislature, whatever they tell them, so that's all,
Oh, it's governed by,
yeah. They have to go to them for fundraising, that's why they have to go to them for their standard. I remember that, you know, as my years of ag teachers, like, oh, they lowered our CTE, what's that gonna do to our reimbursement? You know, cause we were getting reimbursed at the time, when when I was done, my ag program was getting 31% back of what it was costing my salary. And so, you know, so I saw that decrease over the years because of what the legislature did. So, anyway,
They don't even do that.
probably not even 31 anymore, huh?
No, they just do a dollar amount.
Okay.
So then, like, last year when I applied, I just simply put all of our teachers' salaries on the reimbursement, and they just reimbursed, it was less than our salaries.
Yeah.
So they just keep slowly,
I haven't kept track of that anymore.
I mean, I just filled out the application last year.
Okay.
It's just a straight dollar amount based on our kids, there's no percentage anymore. I know a lot, and I know Miss Free, we had a meeting earlier this year, a lot of districts are trying to keep track to see if they're getting more or less, because they don't use a percentage anymore. But, the funding for rural schools is definitely, as you mentioned, on a downward slope when it comes to CTE.
So is it kind of like a delegation of folks going?
Yeah, I mean, Wade Sick is organizing it.
You're going by yourself, though.
Okay.
I'm the only, yeah, I'm
That's
not,
his question. His question is are anybody else going, you're going by yourself.
I'm not, nobody's traveling with me.
I think he was,
Oh, okay.
well, but some of the other individuals are, aren't they, or you're the only person going? Isn't like Wade sick or anything?
Wade Sick's going,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wade Sick is going too?
yeah,
Okay.
and then he's invited other people.
Oh, okay. All right.
There is other, but.
Okay.
Cool.
I guess I think it's good to go and to learn, I mean, we're not committing to anything or whatever, it's always good to learn, and it would be nice if our, whoever legislators or whoever they are, I mean, to start thinking about some of us rural schools, I guess, or whatever, and do something regional would be a good thing, so, but it might be down the road, I don't know how many years, but I guess it's gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, they really should have some legislators go along, but,
I think they've been invited, Spencer.
oh, okay.
I guess my issue with this is that as long as we keep having late reports, I think our superintendent needs to stay home and focus.
But there hasn't been late reports.
Yeah, there haven't.
No, that was not. It was turned in, it just, well, anyway, it wasn't, it had been turned on the day that it was due. It just had to, there was one section or something that had to be changed, that it had to be two different buildings, but otherwise it was not, because I was standing there the day when it was submitted.
And that was mine anyway, it wasn't Robbie's. So if you won't be mad at me for that, but it was not mine, it was not his.
Well, there's been a lot of extensions and whatever. How many professional days, I mean, are you taking a professional day or a personal day, or where are we at with
I guess I can take, it's that's all at the discretion of the board president, so I guess I haven't set.
I think it'd be more like professional development than a personal day, I guess, I mean, it is school related, I think.
I mean,
Rational.
you serve at the pleasure of the board, and if they tell you to change how you're doing it, then I'll just change it, but.
Well, at one point, there was a cap on those professional days, and I think there's been quite a few, but I don't know the numbers, so.
I think this is a good opportunity, so I think we have an opportunity here to do that. I mean, I'm not saying, who knows what's gonna happen with this, but I think it's a good opportunity, to find out some things and have Harvey right in the middle of it, so whether or not it happens, or whether or not, but it's, I think we should give it a more blessing, I do.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Spencer?
Are we, like, is this just like an update or?
General consensus, or
General
do you want a
consensus?
motion, or?
I guess what you
I mean,
feel
I
about,
think
you feel?
I think it's cool to, I mean, CTE is gonna be, I mean, it's huge in the state already, and having a focus on that is good. I think that, you know, if the state is going on a mission, or they are wanting somebody from Harvey to be involved in that, I think that could be a really, I think that would be a good thing to go on.
Okay. Is everybody good with that, or we want a motion, or are we all good?
Whatever you want, I'm fine. What do you-
I mean, it's gonna be part of my report as well, so you can have a motion now before I
Yeah,
go.
let's entertain a motion to,
I'll make a motion that it's, all right for Dr. Lukens to go to this here, to see the CTE Centers, some different models in Wisconsin with expenses paid by the state.
and use professional.
Professional development.
Second?
I'll second
Okay, discussion. Discussion. So the motion is the board is giving his support to go to this convention, or go to this thing, realizing that all expenses are paid by the state, room, board, meals, and he will use professional development. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1. Okay, since it's a special meeting, I cannot add anything to the agenda, so I would accept the motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded, we adjourn. Our next meeting will be November,
I believe it's November 13th.
okay? And not that anybody really cares, but I'm having total hip replacement on the 30th of October, so probably won't see me for a couple of weeks, so hopefully by the 13th I'll be walking. All right? Okay, so, thank you all for coming, and, motion to be adjourned.
We'll be watching that meeting.
So they'll get you, I'm walking right away, whether you like it or not.
Just so you're aware of that.